Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast. And are you ready to live an inspired and empowered life? Well, today, join me to find out the power of your emotions and how your emotions play out in order for you to live an inspired and empowered life. We'll continue where we left off last week because it's part 2, and you can always go back to part 1 anytime you want. As human beings, we all have emotions. Some we may not want to feel, and others we long for. Today, discover how important and powerful emotions are and why the more we feel, the more alive and joyful we become. Learn how emotions are the keys to creating what you want and living an inspired and empowered life. Together, let's create a life you love. Hi, I'm Nancy Deutsch, the host of the show, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive breakthrough expert. And I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to transform women's lives. And this show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling. It is for educational purposes only. My motto that I've had for a very long time is, in order to heal, you need to feel. And that's really the bottom line. Now, last week's show, we talked about the difference between reaction and responding and general information on emotions. And today, we're going to go deeper into helping you understand your emotions and how they can either block you or move you towards the life you love. So first, I want to do my quick Psych 101 lesson so that we're all on the same page about the different aspects of we got a hello, Stanley. We got hi. Good evening from Bali. We're wishing here in New York, it's morning, but it's welcome, Stanley. It's great to connect with you. Glad to have you here. And as human beings, we have what I call the 3 different minds. We have the conscious mind, and your conscious mind consciously had you choose coming on, whether you're listening live, welcome, or whether you're coming at a later time. And I want to welcome you to any time that you're listening to this. I am grateful that you consciously made the choice to join me, and also really consciously supporting you and encouraging you, because what this show is about is really inspiring and empowering you to change your life. So congratulations on consciously choosing to be here. Your subconscious mind is the part of you from the moment you were conceived to present time. It is the part of you that has recorded every moment, every breath. Yes, every moment that you have been alive. So anytime there have been challenges in your life, now you can never consciously remember any of those or all of them. You may have memories or specific times, but your subconscious mind has recorded every moment. And what's really interesting is the more powerful the emotion connected with the memory, the more likely you'll remember it. Now, if you're one of those people, because I've had many clients through the years, I've had many clients say that I don't remember anything about my childhood, or I just don't remember. And that is because, first of all, a lot of memories you may not, by the time you're 4 or 5, that's when you may start remembering more. But if you can't remember a lot of your childhood and then you have a sense that it was traumatic, or even if it wasn't, there may have been events that you may have shut down or been disconnected from. But all those information, all those energies are all in your subconscious mind. And so this is about you being able to really connect more deeply to your subconscious mind. And it also includes ancestral trauma, and it includes past life. Now, you can take this or leave this, it's okay, but just know that this is really about being able to connect more deeply to who you really are by clearing the emotions that have been stuck in your energy field, in your body. That's right. What happens is energetically, your emotions actually get stuck in your body, in the cells of your body. And I have done countless sessions where somebody had a pain or an ache in their body. And when I had them connect with the emotion or the sensation, they were able to have a memory. So I'm going to give you an example. So take Della. What happened with Della is we were working together and Della had this sensation in her throat. And she had this sensation and she felt like a lump in her throat. And so I had her breathe. Now, this was all helping her to connect with her subconscious mind. And I had her breathe. And I had her connect with that sensation in her throat. And when she connected with the sensation, she began to have the feeling of sadness, like she wanted to cry. And she connected with a memory of a time when she really wanted to cry because her favorite grandmother passed and she wasn't able to express the grief in that moment when that happened. She was about 5 years old and she wasn't able to cry. She was kind of what I call an emotional shutdown, shock. And she wasn't able to connect with the emotion. But when we had her connect with the grief, she was able to cry and start releasing and healing the grief. And even speaking what she wanted to say to her grandmother that maybe she never said. She was only a kid. And so it was a really powerful moment for her. And what happened was by the end of the session, she started feeling really a sense of peace and able to feel that sense of peace and even more aliveness. And then she decided to do something to honor her grandmother. And even though it had been 40 years since the death of her grandmother, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter. The emotions stay in your body until you can release them. And that is the power of connecting with your subconscious mind. It's being able to connect with those emotions so that you can then heal them and release them. And I invite anybody who's in the chat, if you have any comments or any questions, and we can also take the questions that we had gotten from last week. So if you, Rebel, if you'd like to post some of the questions from last week, we can take those. And then there's one other, and there's, before I answer this question, one other part of the mind is your superconscious, and that's you connecting with the universal mind, you connecting with the higher aspects of yourself, like your, what I call your higher self, the wise, unconditionally loving you, and your soul and the universe, your angels, your guides, beings of light. And all of those are part of your superconscious mind. Now, I'm going to answer the question, where do we find the passion to clear the emotions? So what's really interesting is the energy of passion is actually the energy of your soul. It's actually the energy of that part of you that's your core energy essence. And in order to find the passion, sometimes you have to clear the emotions like fear, anger, grief, like Della, or it could be even shame or guilt. And so when you clear, and I also want you to know there's many other emotions besides the 5 I just mentioned, but I want to let you know these are primary emotions, and all of the other emotions are aspects of these primary emotions. So energies like frustration or impatience come from like anger, and emotions like terror or horror, those are all fear energy. And then you have the sadness, you can have sorrow, despair, that's all grief, and humiliation and shame. And then of course there's guilt. So all of those emotions are the ones that need to be healed and cleared in order for you to get to the emotions of your soul. And the emotions of your soul are love, joy, peace, harmony, passion, aliveness, inspiration. Inspired and empowered living is all about connecting with your soul. It's all about connecting with the passion of who you really are. And I want you all to know that it is possible. In fact, that's what your soul wants for you more than anything. That you came into this lifetime to heal so that you can have an inspired and empowered life. You came into this lifetime to be able to feel that passion and aliveness and the joy. I do something called soul adventures, where I take people on journeys to connect more deeply with their soul. And many times when I've had them connect with their soul, Almost all the souls that I've connected with through that Soul Adventures work, the journeys to connect with your soul, it was all about connecting with the joy. What brings you joy? What brings you aliveness? What brings you passion? So in order to get to the passion, you need to clear the other emotions. And you may not feel passionate about clearing those other emotions. And sometimes you may feel really stuck or really scared to be able to clear those emotions. But know that when you clear those other emotions, they are the ones that have been needing to be healed so that you can then feel the passion, aliveness, the peace, the joy, and the love of your soul. So thank you for that question. And we have, how do you know you are letting go of the emotions? So you know that you're letting go of your emotions. Well, first of all, when you start to cry, you know you're letting go. And sometimes I also want you to know that there's the tears of grief and sadness, but there are also tears of joy. Now, and this is really fascinating. But scientists and researchers have found that there's actually different components to those different tears. But know that tears are really healing. Whatever they are, the tears of grief or sadness or despair, are tears that need to be let out and released so that you can have the tears of joy or the tears of gratitude. Tears have come into my eyes when, of course, I do my plenty of share of crying because I know how important tears are. And I also want to let you know that if you grew up in a family where it wasn't okay for you to cry, because I have heard time and again, whether you're male or female, and yes, men may have had a harder time to cry because in the culture, and whatever culture you come from, very often there's a stigma against men crying. But you may have grown up in a family, whether you're male or female, where it wasn't okay to cry, where it wasn't okay to feel your feelings. And I want you to know that feeling your feelings is crucial. It's important. It's essential. Those are the key words here: important, crucial, and essential, for you to remember that you are, that it's really important to feel those feelings so that you can then transform them into the feelings that you want. And you know that you've let go is when you have an emotional release, or sometimes you can ask for your superconscious mind. I call it the spiritual support team. So anytime you want to call and connect with your spiritual support team, that's your higher aspects, your higher self, your soul, your angels, guides, beings of light. You can call upon your spiritual support team to help you to release emotions too. And you know that you've had a release or a shift, whether you're having that emotional clearing or you start to feel more peace. So, for example, when Jen came into the office, she was feeling really angry, and she felt it throughout her whole body. And so she was like really irritated. And what she needed to do was express that anger in healthy ways. Now, you want to express your emotions, whether it's anger or grief or fear, in healthy, appropriate ways so that you are not hurting yourself, someone else, or property or the environment. You don't want to destroy property or the environment. As long as it's healthy, it's okay. So to move the anger, I have different tools like twisting a towel or punching pillows. Those are all healthy ways to release your anger. But one of the best ways, because you bring it with you wherever you go, is your breath. So everybody take a deep breath. Breathe. That's right. Breathe and let go. Breathe and let go. That's right. Letting go of the energies that no longer serve you. And so using your breath is an amazing tool. What happens when you are stressed, when you are anxious, when you are depressed, when you're feeling angry or fearful, or in the midst of grief, or feeling shut down, or in feeling perhaps shame or guilt, coming back into your body and breathing, feeling your breath, noticing your breath, working with your breath, and taking a deep breath, and letting the out breath be longer than the in breath. And what that actually does is it resets the nervous system. Because what happens is when you are feeling an intense emotion or you're emotionally shut down where you're numb, you have gone into the reaction of the stress response. And so it's important, if something is not happening in the very moment, if something is happening in the very moment, get yourself to safety. Allow yourself to be safe. But what happens is very often we go into that reaction from our subconscious minds. You get triggered. You get triggered by a person. You get triggered by an event, a situation. And you start having an emotional reaction. And so the first thing that you can do, and remember, I talked about reaction last week and response, whereas reaction is the first thing that happens, the reaction of the emotions. You may get angry, you may get sad, you may get scared. And that's coming from your subconscious mind. And what happens is you can have chronic reactions. Chronic reactions. So when you have a chronic reaction, your breath shuts down. You start shutting down, and everything just really goes into that defense mode. Your nervous system is wired in a certain way. And what happens is when you go into that stress response, although I call it reaction, the first thing you can do is remember to breathe. Take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, letting go, releasing, allowing yourself to let go. And that's right. And I see we have another question. So that's really important to remember. How can we know, the question is, how can we know the tears are releasing and not just pushing the emotions and feelings down to hide them? So when you start to cry, the act of crying is a release. And even if you're someone that finds yourself crying a lot. Now, again, there are times that you may cry like in any moment, like especially if you've just lost a loved one, or if you've lost a job, or if you lost something and you're in the energy of grief, you may cry very easily. Now, if you have a job and you need to hold those tears, you may want to breathe and just let yourself know, okay, I feel the sadness. And right now, if you can't run to the bathroom because you're in the middle of a project or in the middle of a talk, hold those tears and let them come out at a later time. It's really important for those tears to be expressed. And you know that you're expressing them when you are able to really let out or allowing the tears to fall. Now, when you push down your emotions, see, it's really important to acknowledge the emotion. And sometimes just acknowledging it may shift the energy and release it. But sometimes you really need to be with it and sit with it and allow it. So if you push them down and then you're not feeling anything, you've gone numb, that means that you haven't let it go. That means that you're shut down in some way. I call it emotional shock. And when you're in emotional shock, that means that you're not feeling anything. You can feel numb. Or like what happens when I ask a client when they're in emotional shock and I say, what are you feeling? And they're like, I'm not feeling anything. I don't know. I have no idea. Sometimes they say I feel numb. Sometimes they say I can't feel. Sometimes they're not even able to connect with their body. They're immediately what is called disassociated. They're out. You're disconnected from your body and from feeling that connection. And so for you, it would be important to start to feel safe and feel more connected with your body so that you can then breathe and allow yourself to connect, to feel the tears, to feel the anger, to feel the fears, to breathe through them, to move through them. A lot of times what I tell clients to do is to exercise or dance or move it through your body. Breathing and moving the energy through your body. Put on dance music or put on music that will help you express the emotion. If you are not sure what emotion it is, then try different music, because music actually helps you. It goes beyond the conscious mind and it helps you move the energy through your body. So you could try that. Or I know sometimes when you want to shift out of feeling the sadness or the grief, sometimes clients will put on a funny movie or a funny TV show to laugh. Laughing is great. Laughter is a great medicine, and it's really a good thing. So definitely you want to move the energy through your body. That's an important piece to really let go and be able to work with the energy of your emotions. So thank you for that question. And hopefully I answered. Okay, so we have another one. How can we know if we are feeling our feelings for what they really are? Okay, so I'm going to let you know that any feelings that you are feeling are fine. Even if they're not the feeling you think you should be feeling. If you allow yourself to connect with your body, the feelings, the emotions, and you just allow yourself to express whatever is there. If there is another feeling underneath, it may come up to the surface after you release the first one. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So Sally came into my office and she felt so much anger, and she was feeling really angry. And when we started and I helped her breathe through, I helped her move through the energy of anger. And what was happening was underneath the anger was the feeling of grief. That in her family, it wasn't okay to feel grief. It wasn't okay to cry. And so after she released the anger, she started to feel the grief in her heart, in her throat, in her eyes. And she started to cry. And she allowed herself to cry and move through and let herself feel the feelings, so that Sally was then able to release and let go. So by the end of the session, she was able to breathe, and she was able to connect with a sense of peace, of relief. That's what a lot of clients say, that after they release the feeling, there's this sense of relief. So even if you don't know exactly what you're feeling, you may connect with that feeling through your sensations in your body, or you may connect with the feeling it just may happen. You may be very clear you're feeling something. And if you're feeling that shutdown, that numb, your first priority is to just be patient and gentle with yourself and let yourself feel safe. Now, I am going to encourage all of you to be able to find support systems to help you, support you to move through your feelings. So you may find counselors. You can find counselors online. You can find a coach. And I definitely have coaching programs that can support you. That's one of the best things that I love doing, is supporting people to help them move through their feelings so that they can move towards creating their dreams, their goals, their vision. And you may need to reach out for support groups. And allow yourself to reach out for support. If you have supported friends who can just listen to you, and you may need to ask, right now, all I need you is listen to me. I just need to vent. I just need to express. And know that it's really important for you to ask for your needs and to ask for what you need. And I'm really excited. I want to share with you what we have. I am going to have a masterclass next Wednesday, May 10th. And in this masterclass, it's a free virtual masterclass for coaches, healers, therapists, and entrepreneurs. And it's about 3 essential tools to profoundly increase your confidence and success. And it's next Wednesday, May 10th, from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern. And when you register, you'll receive a free gift, 5 strategies for faster client breakthroughs. So during this masterclass, we are going to talk about how to help you to clear your money and success blocks, how to make your best business decisions based on your inner wisdom, or what I call your intuition, and the number one way to gain confidence to increase your visibility, your income, and your success. So join me now. Rebel, can you post the link? There it is. So if you go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass. Again, inspired and empoweredliving.com/masterclass. So it's the name of the show that I'm doing, and then you're going to do a /masterclass. And I encourage you to join so that you can get support for helping you to clear emotions and the other things. We're going to be talking more about that in the masterclass. So I really look forward to having you join us. And that's 12 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday, May 10th. And if you would like to come and you're not able to, let me know. And you can always email me. You can always go to Inspired and Empowered Living and contact me there, or nancid.me, NANCID.me, and contact me there as well. So back to the power of the emotions, the power of your emotions. So other ways to clear your emotions. Remember, what's most important, if you look at the word emotion, it's moving the energy. E stands for energy, and motion stands for moving. So emotions want to move. They want to move through your body. So you want to move the emotions through your body to be able to get to that place of peace, of joy, of love. Now, this is really interesting, what I'm about to tell you. Really interesting. Because from caveman days, we have been wired. That's why the stress response happens like that. And then we come into that chronic state. And because of that, we have been wired for the fear. So many of you who want that peace, that love, that joy, if you start feeling it, it feels foreign. It feels foreign, and and you may not be used to it, and you may not be able to stay with it. So it's learning how to teach your nervous system, how to teach your body how to breathe. You're going to need to breathe with the peace, breathe with the joy, breathe with the love, learning to be able to even allow yourself to feel those emotions as well. That's what's so amazing. But as your nervous system learns what it feels like, and I've had plenty of clients through the years that have had maybe no moments or very few moments of peace, of love, of joy, because they've been in post-traumatic stress most of their lives. And so learning that peace, learning the joy, learning the love, moving the energy through, breathing through it, and other ways that you can help yourself move through emotions. Some of you may like to write and journal your emotions, letting out those emotions, expressing those emotions through journaling. And maybe you want to express those emotions through art, coloring or drawing. And here's the thing. If you need to express an emotion, and this is not about censoring what your piece of art looks like. I don't care if you take a red crayon, if you're feeling angry, and you go scribble, 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 scribble across that piece of paper. Letting yourself express that energy, breathing and moving that paper, moving that crayon, or taking another crayon, expressing the sadness, blue dots all over, expressing your tears. Or maybe there's a sun shining expressing your joy or gladness. Or maybe there's wiggly lines expressing the fear. So letting the energy move through art. Again, move through your body. If you're feeling energy, you can even shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Especially like fear, shake out that fear. Breathe, shake. Any of those tools can help you to really move the energy through your body. And Allie just joined us. She said, good morning. Technical difficulties. I'll be watching the replay. Yay, Allie. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And again, thank you all for joining. So really allowing yourself to move the energy, emotion. So I don't care how you move the energy, whether it's through movement, breath will move the energy through. Whether it's through dance or yoga or exercise or writing, journaling, or art or music. How many musicians putting on music, or maybe you're a musician and you want to express your music. How many songs are expressing those musicians' emotions? And they help you express yours. So put on the music that moves you to feel. So music is another way to move the energy. And that's what this is about. It's moving the energy so that you're moving the energy so that you are moving and feeling your feelings, whatever they are, and learning to live in more peace, learning to live in more joy, love, and gratitude. When you feel those feelings, you've connected, you've released the other emotions, and you've connected to the emotions of your soul. And that's what you want. And that's what it takes to live an inspired and empowered life. Because when you are living from your soul, when you are able to embody those feelings more and more of the time, you are living from that higher place. And there's a part of you called the higher self, this wise, unconditionally loving part of you. When you embody that part, and your higher self is that future enlightened self. It is your soul embodied on this planet in this lifetime. That's what you want. You are working on becoming and learning how to play in becoming your higher self and your soul. And join me. So we're going to continue to talk about how to live an inspired and empowered life, working with your emotions. I have some surprise shows coming up. Just got some downloads this morning of what the universe wants you to know. But remember, it will always be about living a more inspired and empowered life, because that's what I want for you. And I want you to be able to start feeling more of those feelings of peace, love, joy, gratitude, because that's what it's about. So I wish you an amazing, inspired and empowered day and an inspired and empowered week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.